When most people see someone with few friends, they jump to the obvious conclusion. Something must be wrong with them. Maybe they're awkward, unfriendly, or just bad at relationships. But for Sigma males, the truth couldn't be more different. These aren't men who can't make friends. They're men who choose not to, at least not the way most people do. It's not about anxiety or fear. It's a completely different way of seeing human connection that few really understand. While most people collect friends like followers, Sigma males look for something else. One real friend beats 20 fake ones every time. This isn't about being better than others. It's about knowing what real friendship takes and how rare that is. People get Sigma males all wrong. They often confuse their independence for arrogance, their silence for rejection, and their standards for walls. But most friendships fall apart because they were never real to begin with. Sigma males just skip the illusion, and that's exactly what makes them better friends to the few who truly earn their trust. So why do they keep their circle so small or sometimes completely empty? Let's look at the real reasons Sigma males have few, if any, people they truly call friends. Number one, they immediately pull back when they sense manipulation. Have you ever felt that someone was trying to steer you toward what they wanted? Maybe they use guilt or flattery or even subtle pressure. Most people go along with it to keep the peace, but a Sigma male, he's already gone. Manipulation is like a tripwire for these men. The moment they feel someone trying to control them, even in small ways, they don't just get annoyed, they completely pull back. What makes this reaction so strong? It's not about having a chip on their shoulder. It's about valuing their freedom to choose above almost everything else. When someone tries to manipulate instead of asking directly, it feels like disrespect of the highest order. The initial pullback might seem minor. Maybe the Sigma male suddenly becomes quieter, takes longer to respond to messages, seems less available. Nothing dramatic, nothing you could point to as obvious rejection. But make no mistake, from that moment on, he's watching. Every word you say gets analyzed. Every request gets examined for hidden motives. Every interaction gets weighed for signs of more manipulation. It's not something he holds a grudge about. It's just his natural response to protect his autonomy. This heightened awareness isn't paranoia. It's a finely tuned detector for attempts to influence him against his will. Friends who are direct and honest never trigger this response. But those who try to use psychology instead of straightforward communication, they never get close again. For most people, minor manipulation is just part of social life. For a Sigma male, it's an immediate sign to create distance, often permanent distance, especially if they feel disrespected or taken advantage of. Number two, they'd rather lose friends than lose themselves. Most people would do almost anything to fit in. They change their opinions, hide parts of themselves, and go along with things they don't believe in, all to keep friends around. It's so common we barely notice it anymore. But Sigma males just won't do it. Something inside them refuses to bend that far. You've seen it happen. The moment when staying true to yourself means possibly losing someone. That crossroads where you must choose between your principles and keeping the peace. While most people compromise to save the friendship, Sigma males stand firm, even when it costs them. The price of fitting in is too high if it means giving up who you are. This isn't about being stubborn or difficult. It's about having an unshakable sense of self that they refuse to sacrifice, even for connection. When groups pressure them to follow along, laugh at jokes they find offensive, or support ideas they disagree with, they simply don't. Watch what happens when a Sigma male quietly declines to join in something that makes them uncomfortable. The confusion, the pressure, the eventual distance that forms. One by one, casual friends fall away, leaving only those who respect their authenticity. Most people find this baffling. Why can't you just go with it? It's not that serious. Don't you care about our friendship? But to a Sigma, these questions miss the point entirely. They're not trying to be difficult. They've just learned something most never do. Any friendship that requires you to become someone else was never real friendship at all. Number three, they take time to trust, and most people don't wait. Trust. Most people hand it out like free samples at the grocery store. Meet someone new, chat for an hour, and suddenly you're sharing personal stories and making weekend plans. It's the normal rhythm of modern friendship. But Sigma males don't operate on this timeline. For them, trust isn't something given quickly. It's something built slowly, brick by brick, over time. This isn't about being cold or suspicious. It's about valuing trust so deeply that they won't dilute it by rushing. While others jump straight to friendship, Sigma males remain in observation mode, watching for consistency, integrity, and authenticity. Can you honor boundaries? Do your actions match your words? Will you still be the same person 3 months from now? These aren't conscious questions. They're automatic checks happening beneath the surface. The problem? We live in a fast-paced world where connections are expected to form instantly. People get impatient. They want immediate closeness. When a Sigma doesn't reciprocate this rapid intimacy, others often take it personally. Why is he so closed off? I feel like I don't even know him. Why doesn't he trust me yet? By the time these complaints surface, most people have already decided it's not worth the wait. They move on to easier connections. What they miss is that Sigma males aren't rejecting friendship. They're just taking the scenic route to get there. And those rare few who do stick around discover something valuable. When a Sigma male finally extends his trust, it's complete, unwavering, and nearly unbreakable. But in a world of instant everything, how many people have the patience to wait for something that develops slowly? Not many, and that's another reason the Sigma's inner circle remains small. Number 4, their brutal honesty can be intimidating. How does this outfit look? What did you think of my presentation? Am I making the right decision here? Simple questions that most people answer with gentle lies. You look great. It went well. I'm sure whatever you choose will be fine. But ask a Sigma these questions, and you'll get something entirely different. Not because he wants to hurt you, but because, in his mind, honesty is the highest form of respect. That style doesn't flatter you. Your points got lost because you were unprepared. I think you're making this decision for the wrong reasons. This raw honesty catches most people off guard. We're used to the social cushioning that softens reality, the white lies and polite exaggerations that make interactions smoother. When someone strips those away and gives unfiltered truth, it can feel like walking into a cold shower when you expected warm water. What makes this even more disorienting is that Sigma males don't do it with malice. There's no cruelty, no smug satisfaction. They're not trying to win or look superior. In their world, telling someone the truth, even when it stings, is an act of loyalty. But in the wider world, honesty like this is often seen as harsh, rude, or even hostile. Most people don't know how to process it. They take it personally. They pull away. He's too intense. He makes me feel judged. He's always pointing out flaws. What they don't realize is that Sigma males aren't trying to tear others down. They're trying to build something real, something based on truth, not illusion. But because most friendships are built on mutual flattery and avoidance of conflict, a Sigma's honesty can be seen as a threat. This leads to a strange paradox. The very trait that makes them trustworthy also makes them friendless in many cases. Few people are ready for that level of directness. Fewer still appreciate it. And so, once again, the Sigma male watches people drift away, often not because he did something wrong, but because he refused to lie. Number 5, they refuse to chase people who don't reciprocate. There's a common belief in friendships. If you really care, you'll make the effort. That means sending the message, making the call, showing up, following up. And when the other person doesn't, most people try harder. Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they didn't see my text. Maybe they need me to reach out again. This mindset creates a cycle where one person does all the work and the other just receives. But Sigma males don't play this game. If you don't reach out, they won't either. Not out of spite, but out of principle. For them, friendship is a two-way street. If the traffic only moves in one direction, it's not a real connection. So when they notice that someone consistently fails to reciprocate, whether emotionally, conversationally, or energetically, they stop chasing. They simply match energy. If you give 80%, they'll give 80. If you drop to 0, they'll drop to 0. It's not a dramatic exit. It's just a quiet shift. No confrontation, no guilt trips, No passive-aggressive comments, just silence. This approach confuses people. Why did he just disappear? Why did he stop talking to me? The answer is simple. The relationship wasn't mutual. And Sigma males don't beg for attention, affection, or inclusion. If you want to be in their life, you have to show it. If not, undone. They'll gladly walk alone. They're not interested in maintaining dead connections for the sake of appearances. That's not coldness, that's clarity. And in a world full of one-sided relationships, it's a refreshing kind of honesty that most people just aren't used to. Number 6, they don't fit into pre-made social groups. From high school cliques to adult friend circles, most social groups run on sameness. Everyone dresses alike, talks alike, thinks alike. There's an unspoken rule. If you want to belong, don't be too different. Don't question too much. Don't stand out too far. Just blend in. Sigma males don't. They can't. It's not rebellion, it's instinct. They're wired to question the group, challenge the norm, to stand outside the structure and observe. Even when they enter a group, they don't fully join it. They keep a part of themselves separate, watching, analyzing, staying aware. They don't lose themselves in groupthink. They don't adopt opinions just because everyone else believes them. And they never pretend to like something just to be liked. This makes them fascinating, but also hard to place. Most groups don't know what to do with them. He's cool, but he's hard to read. He shows up, but he's never really one of us. He's here, but it's like he's somewhere else. Over time, the disconnect grows, not because the Sigma pushes people away, but because he doesn't fully merge with them. He won't change his core to fit a mold. And when the mold pushes back, expecting conformity, compliance, or blind loyalty, he quietly slips out. Not with drama, not with blame, just with quiet clarity that says, I'd rather be alone than be fake. It's not that Sigma males don't want connection. It's that they want authentic connection. And most social groups simply don't allow for that level of independence. Number 7, they have deep inner lives that most people can't access. Ask a Sigma male what he's thinking, and he might smile and say, not much. But that's rarely true. Beneath the surface, his mind is a maze of thought, deep, complex, and endlessly active. He's always processing, always observing, always turning things over in his head. But he rarely shares it. Why? Because most people aren't ready for what's in there. His thoughts don't follow the usual scripts. He doesn't just think about surface-level stuff, sports, gossip, trends. He dives into philosophy, psychology, ethics, purpose. He questions everything. And that kind of depth can be isolating. Try dropping a profound thought in a casual conversation and watch how quickly it dies. The average person isn't wired for depth. They want fun, light, easy. They want validation, not introspection. When a Sigma male does open up, when he shares even a glimpse of his inner world, he's often met with confusion, discomfort, or blank stares. Why do you think so much? That's too deep, man. You're overanalyzing everything. These responses teach him to keep his thoughts to himself, not out of secrecy, but out of efficiency. Why open a vault if no one wants to see what's inside? So he retreats further into his own mind, building a rich inner world that few ever get to enter. And while this makes him self-sufficient and wise, it also makes him lonely at times. Not because he lacks people, but because he lacks understanding. That's the hidden cost of deep thought in a shallow world. It builds wisdom, but it shrinks your circle. Number 8, they don't believe in friendship for convenience. Most people make friends based on convenience. You work together, you live nearby, you go to the same gym, you share a hobby. It's proximity that creates the bond, not necessarily compatibility. But Sigma males don't work like that. For them, friendship is about alignment of values, depth of conversation, and mutual growth, not shared schedules. So even if you see them every day, that doesn't guarantee closeness. You could be around a Sigma male constantly, but if the conversation stays shallow, the bond stays weak. They don't collect people just to avoid being alone. They don't build fake friendships just to have someone to hang out with. And they certainly don't force closeness based on time spent together. This makes them slow to connect but deep when they do. You can't become their friend just by showing up. You have to connect, really connect. And that kind of connection is rare, especially in a fast-paced world built on surface-level interaction. So while others form dozens of convenient, low-effort friendships, Sigma males wait. They'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who don't truly see them. It's not pride, it's principle. Because to them, friendship isn't about filling space. It's about sharing substance. Number 9, their standards are too high for most people. Let's be honest, most people settle. In work, in love, in friendships. They accept less than they deserve because they fear being alone or think good enough is all they'll get. But Sigma males don't settle, especially not when it comes to who they let into their lives. They have standards, real ones. They look for loyalty, honesty, intelligence, ambition, emotional maturity. And they don't bend those standards just because someone's funny or convenient or attractive. This makes their friend pool small. Most people can't pass the test, not because they were being, but because they were not aligned. Sigma males don't want people who are perfect. They want people who are real, people who challenge them, support them, and walk beside them with integrity. They're not afraid to walk alone if those people never show up. This frustrates others. You're too picky. Nobody's perfect. You expect too much. But Sigma males know something crucial. Who you surround yourself with shapes who you become. And they refuse to let the wrong people shape them. So they wait and wait, sometimes for years. But when they do find that rare person who meets their standards, they commit fully. That's the paradox of the Sigma male. He's hard to reach, but once you do, he's loyal for life. But until then, he walks alone, proudly, peacefully, patiently. It's easy to look at a Sigma male and assume he's antisocial, cold, or arrogant. But behind the quiet exterior is a mind that values depth over popularity, truth over comfort, and self-respect over approval. The reason he has few friends isn't because he can't make them, it's because he won't fake them. In a world where connections are often shallow, he chooses substance. In a world of instant bonding, he chooses slow trust. And in a world of constant noise, he chooses quiet integrity. So if you know a Sigma male, or if you are one, understand this. Having few friends isn't a weakness. It's a reflection of strength, of standards, of self-awareness. And the few people he does let in, they experience a level of loyalty, honesty, and depth that most people never will. Because while he may walk alone, he does so with clarity, purpose, and peace.